and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple like Prince.
Charges of federal orders, incredible markers, indelible sparkers, immeasurable. Sparking the medical, carcass on pedestal. Sharks for that revenue, hawks for what's edible. Heart full of vegetables, art at the festivals. Heart no cholesterol, sharp on those episodes. I'm on 100%. I like when summer begins. I need my hundreds and tens. I need 100%. Go independent like Prince. I'm on 100%.
Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of Underground Railroad Productions. This your host, Brother Rich. I'm here with the Red Pill. Welcome back, brother.
Peace to the family.
All right, so the clip I put up of, I think it was the Fear of the Black Messiah, and you had a specific section on fake news.
Yes.
The reason why I want to talk about that, President-elect Donald Trump, he just had a press conference. A CNN anchor tried to ask him a question, and I never seen a president-elect or president respond that way.
What did he do?
He was like, no, I'm not answering your question. Your organization is fake news. So, like, people like, I mean, it's to the point where even Fox, which we all consider one of the most racist organizations out there, the anchor from Fox, Shepard Smith, came out and defended CNN, saying neither they nor any other journalist should be subjected to belittling or delegitimizing by the president-elect of the United States. I've never seen nothing like this type of behavior. A lot of people call him a Twitter troll. It's weird seeing a president-elect act that way. But a lot of people are saying this is what we need, somebody that doesn't act phony like the other presidents. And if he's going to call out fake news and CNN, you know, is it? Do you see any good in this? Do you see any bad? What's going on where we got a president that acts in this manner, calling out fake news, although we know it's fake news anyway?
Well, we're going to do this. We're going to explore that question from both angles, you know, or from, you know, two ways. On one hand, we could say, well, for having the president select, I wouldn't call him the president-elect, but to have the president-select say to the world, because when this clip will go viral, everyone around the world will have the opportunity to see his first press conference. But of course, the world wants to see the train wreck. But of course, the world wants to see soldier fraud. They want to see the latest antics, because this is the era that has been ushered in what is known as the post-Trump, post-facts era, where it's about emotionalism over the truth. So we have to keep in mind the campaign that Donald Trump initiated and the campaign that was launched in his name, and that campaign was the The campaign that he launched was a campaign over the psyops, over people's minds. It was a campaign that dealt with utilizing keywords. It dealt with the gathering of the psychological profiles of the majority of the voters who were voting for him in the primaries and showing up to these rallies. He had a company. He had one of his major donors. His name is Richard Spencer. The company is SCL, I believe it is. And these people were responsible for funding his machine after he beat Ted Cruz. Once he defeated Ted Cruz, Richard Spencer, who was a billionaire who was funding Ted Cruz, decided to get his company behind behind Donald Trump. All right. Now this company is very they have their claws very deep in Washington, and especially on the far right. But this company, SCL, and also Cambria Analytics, company called Cambria Analytics, what they specialize and what they're known for and what they become world renowned for is psychological operations that deal with information gathering, which is called metadata, being able to create psychological composites of a user base or a voter block, and then pushing the favor of their creating situations where they're making favorable conditions for their candidates. Case in point, they were the company, or they were the entity that was behind the Brexit vote. When you go back into the Brexit vote, which was the London or the British leaving the EU, annexing themselves off and basically closing the door on all of these on the immigrants, on many of the different deals and many of the different treaties that were on the table. So now you're dealing with a situation where these people have put this man in the White House, and this man is building up a cabinet, and his cabinet consists of all of these oligarchs, all of these plutocracy, all of these corporate monsters. You dig what I'm saying? What is that? Tex Realman for the Secretary of State, the CEO of Exxon. Okay, you already know what that is. So Donald Trump is not dealing with what you know as regular news anymore. Donald Trump's source of news is Alex Jones, Breitbart, okay, and these other news agencies, right, that have nothing to do with what you know as traditional news. So they're ridiculing the traditional news, and what they're doing is that by ridiculing the traditional news and by ridiculing the approach of the traditional news networks such as NBC, such as CNN, and all of these other news agencies, he's now introducing what is known as alternative media, or people who represent a far-right mentality. I'm looking for this lecture real quick. That's why I'm looking over here, because I want to show you this research that I have dealing with Donald Trump, the art of his persuasiveness. You dig what I'm saying? The fact that he utilized, they say that a wise man can play a dummy, but a dummy can't play a wise man. And one thing that you should know about this Gemini, and one thing that you should know about this very shrewd businessman, and one thing that you should know about this evil genius is that he's no dummy. Okay? He understands speech. He understands utilization of words. His whole campaign was run on a 4th grade reading level. Okay? So, you know, nah. I'm gonna pull it up. Let me just read something about the Cambridge, the people, the SCL, which is the company that is responsible for putting this man in the office, and why it's going to be important for him to create a situation where propaganda will be the order of the day. So the propaganda that he is preparing, and the propaganda that is already spreading like wildfire, is encapsulating inside of white nationalism, white pride, white supremacy, okay? A white-only nation. And this conversation is being had across the waters. This conversation is also being had in other places across the world. This conversation is reminiscent to a conversation that was had when Hitler was rising up in power. And many people began to turn a blind eye to it. And press was compromised back then as well. And it was also ridiculed. And there was such a thing called fake news, but back then they called it propaganda. Yellow journalism. So propaganda is fake news. Okay? So the SCL group, Strategic Communication Laboratories is a private British behavioral research and strategic communication company. SCL is known as Cambridge Analytica in the United States. It performs data mining and data analysis on its audience. Based on results, communications will be specifically targeted to key audience groups to modify behavior in accordance with the goal of SCL's client. The company describes itself as a global election management agency. London-based SCL was founded by Nigel Oakes, who serves as its CEO. In the history, in 1990, Nigel Oakes, who had a background in TV production and advertising, founded the Behavioral Dynamics Institute as a research facility for strategic communication. The study of mass behavior and how to change it led him to establish Strategic Communication Laboratories in 1993. Oakes thought that in order to shift the mass opinion, academic insights as gained through psychologists and anthropologists at BDI should be applied and would be more successful than traditional advertising methods. BDI became a nonprofit affiliate of SCL. This is who put Trump in office. Let's talk about it. That's SCL. Go and research it. Now let's go to Cambridge Analytica. Cambridge Analytica. SCL formed Cambridge Analytica to participate in the election process in the United States. It entered the U.S. market in 2012 and was involved in 44 U.S. blue congressional, U.S. Senate, and state-level elections in the 2014 midterm elections. Remember when they took it? Remember when they popped up suddenly and took it when nobody thought that they could take it? In 2015, it was disclosed that the company had entered the Republican Party presidential primaries, 2016 primarily in support of Ted Cruz. CA is heavily funded by hedge fund billionaire Robert Mercer, a major supporter of Ted Cruz. Cambridge Analytica, the company worked with the John Bolton Super PAC on a major digital and TV campaign focused on Senate races in Arkansas, North Carolina, and New Hampshire, and helped turn out voters for the Republican candidates in those states. Two of the Republican candidates backed by the Boston Super PAC, Tom Tillis in North Carolina and Tom Cotton in Arkansas, won their Senate bids, while Scott Brown lost in New Hampshire. The PAC ran 15 different spots in each 2016 Brexit referendum. CA became involved in the 2016 Brexit referendum, supporting persuadable voters to vote for leaving the European Union. 2016 presidential election. Cambridge Analytica's involvement in the 2016 Republican Party presidential primaries became known in July 2015. As of December 2015, CA prided itself to have collected up to 5,000 data points on over 200 million Americans. At that time, Robert Mercer was a major supporter of Ted Cruz. The Mercer family funded CA directly and indirectly through several super PACs, as well as through payments via Cruz's campaign. Ted Cruz became an early major client of CA in the early 2016 presidential campaign. Prior to Iowa, the caucuses has spent $3 million for CA services. Ben Carson was a second client of CA. His campaign has paid $22,000 for data management and web services as reported in October 2015. Marco Rubio's campaign was supported by Optimus Consulting. After Cruz dropped out of the race for the Republican presidential nomination in May 2016, Robert Mercer and his daughter Rebecca started to support Trump. In August, it became known that CA followed their allegiance and worked for Trump's presidential campaign. After Trump's win of the presidential election on November 8th, Matthew Oczkowski head of product for CA, indicated that our internal data showed the race tightened in the last few weeks of the election because of previously hidden trends within voter sampling and demographic abnormalities in absentee ballots and early voting, particularly in rural areas. These trends, in part, were responsible for the boost towards the president-elect in the industrial Midwest. Our modes predicted most of the late movement correctly. Alexander Nix indicated the CI's involvement took an instrumental part in the win. I'm gonna stop right there. So we're gonna go up to the fake news. So what you gotta understand is the danger of creating what is known as fake news. By him normalizing fake news, now if we create a news site or a blog, or if we want to create situations where we're reporting about what's taking place in our neighborhoods on these platforms, they are going to be able to demonize, or they're going to politicize fake news as propaganda. And and when you're at war, you cannot have propaganda flowing freely. And if you know, I just read who's behind him. I just explained, this is just one part of it. The rest you'll see in Fear of Black and More Messiah on 29th in Norfolk. But you have to understand that they're going to create a narrative by controlling the stream of consciousness or the stream of information. In this age of consciousness, somebody as maniacal as Donald Trump and the people that he's gathered in his cabinet, as well as the silent hands that are moving those pieces in the game or the puzzle or the chessboard. Yes, indeed, you motherfucking right. Yeah, they're gonna try to stop the flow of this cloth talk. So that's what you see taking place. All of press is in on it. They had a meeting with Donald Trump inside of his Trump Tower. He sat all of the bigwigs down who were at the top of the press, and he put them on code. That's what he did. He told them to play along with the game. And then the other woman left Fox 5, Grace Kelly, like she's fake with her head down, like it's a disgraceful leave because there was sexual harassment. The boss was trying to grab her by the punani, No, not even by the yoni. We don't even want to say what they got. But that's the root. That's not even real. She's going to radicalize NBC. She's going to bring the white alt-right, okay, alternative right, RITE, meaning casting spells. They're going to bring the alt-right mentality over to NBC, and they're going to spread their form of propaganda. And what their form of propaganda is going to do is similar to what we've seen earlier this week with the Chicago Four, the Savages. All right, the name of this lecture is called 44 Savage because Donald Trump is theoretically the 44th president. You know what I mean? And he's a fucking savage. And they're trying to create a narrative where black people who look like Kodak Black, who look like Soulja Boy, who look like Trayvon Martin, who look like Michael Brown, who look like Freddie Gray, who look like Plies, who look like all of the hood niggas out there, all of the savages, all of the goblins, all of the goons, all of the monsters, everybody that these little white children squad, gang, that they follow and listen to. It's pop culture. So Donald Trump is watching Twitter and Vlad and World Star, and he knows about the Soulja Boy shit because, like I just said, all of his fucking cronies are involved in it. So that's national security. It's all a game. It's Cambridge Analytica. They got the bag.
That was dope what you read, my brother. I definitely look forward to your lecture. And to close it out, give your contact information, brother.
Information is the mart125th@gmail. A lot of people have been reaching out. We're still in this hibernation period. You know what I mean? I'm really in fallback mode right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lot of things are changing in my life. You know what I mean? I just moved. You know what I mean? I'm restructuring the studio. The man cave is activated. I'm just putting things in order. Businesses are going in order, all of these things. And we put the thing out on YouTube, on Facebook the other day, on Instagram. They were looking for volunteers and we're looking for assistance, especially in the realm of our clothing, our apparel business. You know what I mean? Where we're experiencing growing pains because things are becoming too big, like it's blowing up. And even in the music business, that's blowing up. You know, the video, everything is becoming to grow. So it's time to form Voltron. It's time to build up this network. The Facts Initiative membership site and the Know the Ledge membership site will be the answer and the solution to many of that. So begin to hit us up on themart125th@gmail. Become part of that database. You know, Cambridge Analytica. We have to begin to data mine. We have to begin to collect our information. We have to begin to just build these bridges, and with each other, they're the real bridges, not sand bridges, not sand castles. Shit just could get washed up with any argument. Shit could get washed up with anything. It's not real. It's too much finickiness going on right now. It's too much fake news because it's too many fake shit. It's too much fake things going on. So like Blue Pill said, if you eating fake food, if your girl got a fake ass or some fake boobs, if your rice is fake, if the weed or the strain of the weed is fake, if your weave is fake, you dig what I'm saying? If your Jordans are fake, if your Trues are fake, why not have some fake news? It's only right because this is a plastic world. You know what I mean? There's the REA world and the REEL world, and by now everybody can understand a great example of what that means. You know what I mean? That, like you said, Rich, you talk about it and then it happens, and then we could revisit it and we go back. That's the power of being able to go back. You're able to revisit your information and be like, you see what I was talking about? So salute to everybody. Thank you everyone for supporting the Scorpion King album. All right, that made for this video. You know what I mean? Enjoy that. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody. Peace.
Peace, family. This brother Rich from UGR, urging all my viewers and subscribers to help support the channel by donating just $1 to the UGR PayPal account. We appreciate the viewership and support, and we understand the power of $1. If you benefit in any way, shape, or form, we ask that you donate $1, whether it be monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or yearly, so that we can build our brand to compete with the NBCs, the MTVs, and the Foxes of the world. I figure since Kanye could ask Mark Zuckerberg for $1 billion, I could ask my subscribers to donate $1 so I could make the best possible content possible. The main objective of this channel is to inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. So hopefully throughout the years of you watching this program, you have been inspired to become the greatest version of yourself. If you would like to donate, you could go to www.paypal.com and send a donation to richandmerit7@yahoo.com. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your program.
Red and blue purple like Prince, Prince. Red and blue purple like Prince, Prince. Red and blue purple like Prince, Prince. Red and blue purple like Prince.
Charges of federal orders, incredible markers, indelible sparkers, immeasurable. Sparking the medical carcass on pedestal, sharks for that revenue, hawks for what's settable. Heart full of vegetables, art at the festivals, heart no cholesterol, sharp on those episodes. I'm on 100%. I like when summer begins. I need my hundreds and tens. I need 100%. Go independent like Prince. I'm on 100%.
Anthem on the track.
Yeah. King shit. Yeah. Yeah. Look. I'm from the city where the bums rich. Skyscrapers block the rays when the sun hits. One time coming, niggas run quick. By the time a baby walk, he got a gun grip. I was made for this. 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 I'm not a product of the cages that they raised us in. Bred to be a king, I'm not a slave to this. I was made for 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 this. I'm not a product of the cages that they raised us in. Bred to be a king, I'm not a slave to this.
They don't know fact from fiction. They don't know the blacks is missing. They don't know they trapped in prison. They don't know the path to prison was a math decision. They don't know the wrath is quickened. They don't know the ass they kissing on the path of mission to put their ass in prison. They don't know black religion, fact and fiction. They don't know mama didn't leave them niggas half the kitchen with half a chicken. Fact or fiction. We still hot, we still noble. Red and blue pill global.
No matter the language, we still moguls. We lost Gil Scott, then we lost Gil Noble. Exercise the right to live like it is. The revolution will not be televised, it's being digitized. On the come up, it's like watching the midget rise. Sleeping giants grow another 20 feet tall with each alliance. I can teach the science, I'm tearing instrumental down before I lay my pencil down. I'm going down to Tinseltown to burn the temples down and cap it off like dental crowns. And my rights still reserved. Fear of a black Illuminati. I might just build with the Bilderberg to come and kill you nerds. I'm shining like a Grammy host on the shores of Miami coast. My Moringa plug looking like Sammy Sosa. The old one when he was well done like Granny's roast. The ancestors sponsor this. I don't know them niggas, all they do is talk that conscious shit. We living it, we in the streets like House of Consciousness. KTL in the ATL, MIA, NYC. Multi-dimension like MIB. We are not the same, I am a sovereign. We are not the same, I am a problem.
I was made for this, I was made for this, I was made for this, I was made for this. I'm not a product of the cages that they raised us in. Bred to be a king, I'm not a slave to this. I was made for this, I was made for this, I was made for this, I was made for this. I'm not a product of the cages that they raised us in. Bred to be a king, I'm not a slave to this.
My daddy smoked dope, so he was a little goddamn J. So I always used to see like him doing little crackhead shit. That's how I knew what crack was. And then, you know what I'm saying, when a nigga got in that grade where like, man, I want the new shoes.
I'm on 100%, 100. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The Netheroo circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the fence. Red and blue, purple like Prince.
About self-empowerment. So if we're gonna survive in the Matrix, we're not gonna survive in the Matrix by dealing with Agent Smith. We ain't punching his clock.
We feeling the urge, feeling the purge. Buzzers electric, we feeling the surge. Feeling the words, killing the birds with immunity. Pillars of unity. This is the formula of Voltron. This is the age of the Ultron. This is the same stage as the Pope on. This is the sage you can smoke on. Copper pound, came under scene, I was copper down. All I was missing was copper crown. Summer 16, I turned copper brown. Look for revenge in the copper town. Capping New Jersey and copper crown. 21 gun salute, chopper sound. My power pieces, the crystals be talking, the cloth that be talking. King County clothing, yeah, king of New York. And I'm Christopher Walken, the missiles embarking. Pistols be talking, 21 hammers with country, the grammar, the broken, the English. I'm on 100%, 100. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The Netheroo circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the fence. Red and blue, purple like Prince. 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 Charges of federal orders, incredible markers, indelible sparkers, immeasurable. Sparking the medical carcass on pedestal. Sharks for that revenue, hawks for what's edible. Heart full of vegetables, art at the festivals. Heart no cholesterol, sharp on those episodes. I'm on 100%. I like when summer begins. I need my hundreds and tens. I need 100%. Go independent like Prince. I'm on 100%. I like when summer begins. I need my hundreds and tens. I need 100%. I like when summer begins. Whoa, I'm on 100%. 100. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple the Benz. Change up the circle of friends. The Netheroo circle the twins. 75 ever since. 70 wives in the Benz. Red and blue, purple like Prince.
Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple like Prince. Red and blue, purple like Prince.